There's a specific guilt that hits when you're doing nothing in summer. Like you wake up at noon, you're just lying there, and for a second, it feels good. Sun coming through the window, no alarm, nowhere to be, and then your brain turns on and you start doing the math. How many days are left, how much you promised yourself you'd do, and how much of it you haven't even started. Somehow, even though school's over, you still feel like you're failing an assignment that just nobody gave you, and that's not a small feeling. That's become the default summer experience for a lot of people, and I want to talk about that because I think we've been sold something that sounds like motivation, but actually just makes ordinary life feel worthless. Like at some point, summer stopped being a break and it became this deadline. And I don't entirely know when this happened, but somewhere between the glow up before school starts videos, the summer body transformation reels, the productivity routines with millions of views, summer turned into this thing you're supposed to like survive correctly. Get in shape, start a business, build a skill, come back in September as a completely different person, or don't come back at all. And you scroll past all of it and something quietly settles in. You haven't started working out yet. Your friends are posting vacations and parties. Someone you know is already posting about their internship, and you're just lying here, telling yourself tonight you'll make a plan, tomorrow you'll lock in, and then tomorrow comes and you're doing the exact same thing. You don't need to come back to school as a completely different person, but nobody told you that. Here's what I keep thinking about, okay? Like, those summers you actually remember? The ones that still feel like something when you think of them? I bet most of them weren't the ones where you followed this perfect routine. Like, they weren't the ones where you lost 20 pounds or learned how to code or built something like incredibly impressive. They were the ones where something just happened. You stayed up way too late with someone and started talking about nothing that mattered, and somehow after everything just felt clear. Or you played games with your friends all day, like the kind of session that just keeps going and going, and it felt like one of the best days you've had in months. You got obsessed with something random and followed it until 3 a.m. for no reason. Or maybe you had a week of just wandering around doing barely anything, and for some reason it just felt like your life. It felt like this is how it's supposed to be. Those aren't the memories that look good on paper, and they certainly don't make a good "what did I miss this summer" answer, or "what I did this summer." But like, they're the ones that actually stick, okay? And I wonder if we're just slowly eliminating these kinds of summers without realizing it, because here's what productivity guilt actually does to free time, okay? It doesn't just add pressure, it changes the way you experience moments while they're happening. You're hanging out with your friends, but in the back of your brain, you keep thinking, I should be doing something else. You're not actually hanging out with your friends, you're half there, split between the moment and the imaginary productive version of yourself who's somewhere else grinding. If you play games for 4 hours and then spend 2 hours feeling guilty about it, you didn't rest for 4 hours, you stressed for 6. You're not wasting your summer because you played games all day, you're wasting it when you spend the whole day hating yourself for playing games. The guilt doesn't come after the waste, the guilt is what makes it feel wasted in the first place. And I think a lot of people are not actually wasting their summers, they're just living them in ways that don't look impressive from the outside. Sleeping in, playing games, sitting in their rooms listening to music no one else likes. Wandering into some random interest and just getting obsessed with it, or like hanging out in someone's car at midnight and going nowhere. Like, none of that looks like growth, none of it like photographs well. Like, that's not gonna be on Instagram. But some of that stuff is actually like how people figure out like who they are. Like, boredom gets treated like this personal failure. Like, if you're bored, something has gone wrong and you need to fix it immediately. But boredom has always been where creativity lies. Like, that's how I started posting these kinds of videos. You can't follow a weird interest if every minute is accounted for, and you can't have an unexpected conversation if your schedule has no blank space in it. Like, rest shouldn't feel like something you have to defend, but somehow it does now. And here's the part that actually bothers me though. The videos telling you not to waste your summer are usually made to make you feel like you're already wasting it. Like, think about it. If you felt completely fine about your summer, you'd never click on that video. You click it because something already made you feel behind. And once you click, you feel more behind. So you make a plan you probably won't follow, and then September comes and you feel like you failed a summer you were just trying to live. That's not a coincidence. The guilt is kind of the whole point. When you're lying there at noon and your brain starts doing the math, some of that anxiety isn't coming from inside of you. It's been handed to you by people who need to tell you that you're not enough. I want to say something very carefully here, okay? Because I don't want you to get this wrong, right? This is not a video telling you to be lazy. Some people have real goals. Some people genuinely want to use their summer to build or learn something. That's not the problem. The problem is when you can't enjoy a single day without mentally auditing it. when doing something for no reason just feels embarrassing, when ordinary life starts feeling like a problem you're failing to fix. A summer does not have to become this crazy transformation arc, okay? Take it from someone in their 20s. I'm not saying this like a parent, I'm saying this like someone who's only a little farther out, close enough that I still remember what those summers feel like, but far enough to like see and understand what actually mattered. Okay? You might be glad that you worked on yourself, but like that's not usually what you miss. You miss the random nights, the pointless conversations, the games that went too late. That feeling for once that your time actually belonged to you. The days that had no plan and somehow still became like something you remember. That stuff doesn't happen on a schedule. It happens in the empty space. And if you spend all of your empty space trying to justify it, you lose the only thing summer was actually supposed to give you. The thing that nobody really says is that you don't get unlimited summers like this. Not in a scary way, just in a real way. Like the window where your time is open, this unstructured, this genuinely yours is pretty short, like a few years maybe. And then there's rent, jobs, the actual adult complexity, and the summers stop being summers in the same way. And I think that's actually an argument for doing less and not more, because the summers you're going to look back on are not the ones where you stuck to the most like impressive schedule ever. They're the ones that felt like something while they were happening. And maybe the best summer of your life won't look productive while it's happening. Maybe it'll look like those late nights and pointless conversations and those games that just last all night, or weeks where nothing happened and somehow everything felt okay, like those days you can't explain and just wouldn't want to. Maybe it'll look like the exact kind of summer you've been told to feel guilty about having. And maybe that's the whole point. Because summers that look like impressive are very easy to perform, but summers that actually mean something to you, those don't usually come from like this transformation plan. They come from being present enough in your own life to actually live it. Remember, like you're not a project, you're not a before photo. You don't have to earn your summer.